You're with us for a new deep dive, and this time we're plunging into, well, a Reddit post that's honestly been keeping us up a bit.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
It's from Nosleep,
Yeah.
and the title alone just grabs you. This is a warning. If you hear kids calling outside your window after 2 a.m., don't go. Don't answer. Or whatever you do, don't say your name.
Wow. Okay. Right off the bat, that's intense. It sets a really specific, chilling tone.
Exactly. You immediately feel something's deeply wrong, even though it starts in a seemingly ordinary place like any other town.
Absolutely. You've got this familiar scene, a normal street, a typical town, but then bam, this really stark rule comes in.
Children laughing, playing.
Yeah.
After 2 in the morning,
Yeah.
and this absolute command. Ignore it, stay inside, don't make a sound.
That contrast is so effective. The mundane versus the terrifying. It hooks you straight away.
It really does. And it perfectly sets the stage for Emily's story.
Yeah.
She's the narrator's cousin, right?
Mhm.
Staying there because her mom's quite sick.
Right. A temporary thing. Probably stressful already.
Totally. So when she hears this local legend about the night kids, you can see why she'd just shrug it off. Like, okay, kids telling spooky stories.
Especially with everything else on her mind. The narrator points out she was dealing with a lot, so this probably seemed like, I don't know, a childish distraction more than a real danger.
But then the narrator hits you with that line. She doesn't think that anymore. She's gone.
Yeah, that just flips everything. Brutal.
And the narrator wasn't completely unaware either. They admit they knew the stories, even called it a stupid tale to Emily.
Right, but even while dismissing it, there was that little bit of unease, a nagging feel.
It makes you think about those local legends, doesn't it? How they kind of burrow into your subconscious, even if you try to laugh them off.
That's classic folklore, really. Tapping into community anxieties, maybe old fears or things people don't talk about. Even if you dismiss it, there's still that gut feeling.
Then the night happens. Narrator wakes up. Hears the sounds. Whispers, giggles, even a jump rope.
That specific sound, yeah. Creepy.
And then the realization. The front door closing. Emily's room. Empty.
Oh, man. That's when those innocent sounds just turn completely sinister.
The mundane becoming monstrous, like you said. Sounds of play turning predatory.
Yeah.
So the narrator rushes outside and sees them. 8 or 9 kids across the street, down by the creek.
And the description is just weird.
So weird. Halloween costumes, pajamas, but also like genuinely old-fashioned clothes. A party hat next to a 90s windbreaker. It's bizarre.
That mix of eras is really unsettling. It suggests they aren't quite current. Or maybe they're collecting things. Gives them an otherworldly vibe.
And Emily's right there in the middle, pale, dazed, like she's sleepwalking or something.
Unresponsive, almost like a puppet. That lack of agency is terrifying.
The narrator yells her name, just instinct. Right?
Totally. You'd scream for her.
And Emily looks over, like maybe she recognizes them for a second, but then one of the kids, a boy in pajamas, grabs her hand, pulls her away.
And the stares from the others. Cold, dead, like a warning.
It's that moment of total helplessness for the narrator. Trying to help just seems to, finalize it. And put them in danger too.
Definitely. Those stares just strip away any idea of childhood innocence. It's pure menace.
And then the sound comes. This awful wail described as like 1,000 children screaming in agony.
Horrifying. Designed to just stop you in your tracks, overwhelm you.
And it works. The narrator backs off, watches them all disappear into the woods with Emily.
And after that, the usual grim routine, police, searches.
Nothing, no evidence.
Yeah.
It's like she literally vanished into thin air.
That complete lack of a physical trace, it's often a sign in these kinds of stories, isn't it? Suggests something beyond a normal explanation. Leaves everyone just grappling with the impossible.
Okay, so terrifying disappearance, creepy local legend, but then the story shifts. Weeks later, back at school.
Right, the 5th grade legacy project. This is where things get tangible.
Not the current project, though. They look back at previous years.
And find this totem pole from 1997, made by that year's 5th graders. It's got these plaster cast faces all over it.
Plaster cast faces.
And then the gut punch. One of those faces looks exactly like Emily.
Oh, hold on. Emily just arrived in January, right? And she's currently in 5th grade. How is her face on a pole from, over 20 years ago?
It makes no logical sense, and the connection gets even creepier.
Yeah.
The teacher who guided that 1997 project, it's Miss Blackburn, Emily's current 5th grade teacher.
No way, seriously.
Yep, and the narrator drops in those local rumors about Miss Blackburn, how she apparently hasn't aged since the 90s.
Oh, come on.
And the whispers about her being, a witch who feeds on children.
Okay, that sounds like standard small-town gossip, maybe. But with the face on the pole,
Yeah.
it suddenly feels way more sinister.
Exactly. It forces you to reconsider what seemed completely outlandish before.
The narrator's fear just ramps up, obviously. Then they find something in Miss Blackburn's desk after school. A hair clip.
Emily's hair clip.
Not just Emily's. It's the narrator's own sparkly pink one, the one Emily borrowed the night she vanished.
Oh, wow. That's concrete. That's not just a rumor anymore. That's a physical link.
A very personal item found in the teacher's desk. It moves way beyond speculation, doesn't it? Suddenly, Miss Blackburn looks, well, involved, or at least knowledgeable.
Seriously involved. It raises huge questions.
Understandably, the nighttime sounds come back for the narrator. More intense now. The giggles, the skipping.
Creepers.
And then the worst part, hearing Emily's voice calling the narrator's name right outside the window.
Oh, that's psychological torture. Using the victim's voice like that.
It plays right into the hope, the guilt, trying to lure the narrator out. It suggests whatever took Emily can now directly target the narrator.
And manipulate them. Very nasty stuff.
So let's talk about the Reddit thread itself, the community reaction. What did you see there?
Well, initially, a lot of people were just like, yep, solid advice, don't go outside after 2 a.m., you know, basic self-preservation.
Healthy skepticism about late night noises, sure.
But then, of course, you get the jokes. People trying to lighten the mood, which is pretty normal online, right? A coping mechanism for creepy stuff.
Definitely. But underneath the jokes, some serious questions pop up.
Like the big one. Why don't the adults seem to know or care about these night kids?
Right. The narrator suggests maybe only kids can see or hear them, or that adults just forget, or they're in denial. What do you think about that?
It's a fascinating idea, that concept of kids having this, like, openness to the supernatural that adults lose. It's a common theme.
Or maybe it just isolates the kids experiencing it, makes them more vulnerable because the adults won't believe them.
Could be that too. And then there's that detail someone drops in the comments about a child disappearing.
Yeah, between 6 and 12 years old.
Yeah.
Roughly once a year in the same town.
That pattern is disturbing. It suggests it's not random, it's cyclical, deliberate maybe.
Something is targeting kids in that specific age range, year after year.
And the Reddit users, they throw out suggestions, right? Confront Miss Blackburn, follow her, try holy water, the usual kind of armchair investigation stuff.
But the narrator is scared to try most of it. They think it'll just make them the next target, which feels completely valid in that situation.
It really underscores how alone the narrator feels. They can't trust anyone, can't rely on normal solutions, or just trying to survive this thing cautiously.
Another interesting detail from the comments was the timing. It's always after 2 a.m., but before dawn.
Consistent.
Yeah, and apparently lately it's been closer to 4 a.m. But the key thing is, it ignores daylight saving time. It's tied to the actual darkness, not our clocks.
That suggests their schedule or their nature operates outside our rules. Maybe tied to that liminal time between night and day, which is classic folklore territory for spooky stuff.
Finally, the narrator says they want to get a picture of that totem pole. The one a commenter called the soul totem.
Trying to get proof, make it real, tangible, understandable.
And we can't forget the detail about the kids' clothes again, that old-fashioned look mixed in. Just adds another layer of strangeness.
It keeps building that sense they're out of time, maybe connected to past victims even.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, we're left with some seriously unsettling questions for everyone listening, like, what are these night kids? Seriously, ghosts, something else.
And Miss Blackburn, what is her actual role? Is she the cause, a facilitator, or maybe even trapped in it somehow herself? Those witch rumors, however wild, gain this horrible weight now.
And the biggest one, what happened to Emily and all the other kids who supposedly vanished over the years? Where are they? Is there any coming back?
And why kids? Is it about their vulnerability? Something about how they perceive things? Or something darker?
Which leads to maybe the most chilling thought, building right off the story itself. Is there a direct link between these yearly disappearances and Miss Blackburn guiding those 5th grade legacy projects for decades?
That 1997 totem pole with Emily's face. I mean, wow. What is the real meaning of those plaster casts? Could they actually be the faces of the lost children? Preserved somehow, memorialized, claimed.
It's horrifying to think about, and it makes you wonder how easily something truly awful could be happening just under the surface of everyday life, especially if the adults are just oblivious or choose to be.
Yeah, the idea that a whole community could be in denial or simply not see a pattern like that. It's deeply unsettling.
So yeah, This deep dive leaves us, and probably you, with a real sense of unease, lots of questions, no easy answers. The narrator's fear feels incredibly real.
It absolutely does, and the mystery is wide open. Makes you think about what else might be out there hiding just out of sight, especially in those quiet hours, after 2 a.m.